They say that we're liberating the Iranian people, that Iranians around the world are celebrating the fall of the Ayatollah. I'm here to tell you that anyone who's celebrating is insane. There is nothing about this to celebrate. Now, you may say, Radia, how the hell do you know you're not Iranian? And it's true, I'm not. In fact, I've talked to Iranians, some of whom say, I don't know what's coming next, but all I know is I want to get rid of the Ayatollah. Let's move on to something else. But to understand why they're saying this, you got to understand something about human psychology. People are simple. Let's imagine that your family lived in Iran and you had a fairly prosperous life. You enjoyed the culture, you enjoyed the arts, you were making money. And then suddenly the Iranian Revolution comes and you get these religious leaders who are going to take away all of your freedom. So you get out of there. You leave Iran. You go and you move somewhere else in the world. Your entire life turns upside down. And for 40 years, you harbor that resentment. You harbor that hatred. So yeah, when a bomb falls on the Ayatollah, you're probably going to celebrate. But that's petty human nature. That doesn't mean any of this is good for the Iranian people. In fact, I can guarantee this does not end well for Iran. And I'm not going to say anything that's surprising. All the evidence is out in the open. Look at the track record of the United States with regime change. It never works. We don't have to go back that far. We don't have to go back to Vietnam. We don't have to look at Guatemala or Nicaragua or El Salvador. We just have to look at the last 25 years with the war on terror, which has been a complete disaster. Now, the interesting thing is, we heard the same story back then. We have to liberate the people. We have to liberate the people of Afghanistan from the Taliban. We have to liberate the Iraqis from the evil Saddam Hussein. And people are going to be cheering on the U.S. They're going to be celebrating in the streets. Fast forward 25 years. We spent $3 trillion. 1 million people died during the war on terror. Many more were displaced. So after all that chaos, all that death, all that destruction, what has actually happened? Afghanistan is once again controlled by the Taliban. It's been conflict and chaos for nothing. Now people say, oh, Iran is different. And they're right, it is different. It's a much bigger country. It's a more complicated country. There is actually a strong base of support for the existing regime, stronger than what you had in Iraq, stronger than what you had in Afghanistan. So the odds of success are actually a lot lower. Now, if you don't want to rely on the track record, look at the people who initiated this war, Israel and the United States. The same countries that have torn Gaza apart, that have starved and bombed people for 2 years, that have taken out 10% of the population. These people have no morals. They have no concern for human welfare. They're sick. They bombed hospitals. They bombed infrastructure. They bombed ambulances. They shot people standing in line waiting to get food. What makes you think that they are going to treat the Iranian people any differently? Now, the reality is that this never works. And regime change never works because it's never about the people in the country where the regime is being changed. It's always about the regime changer. It's another form of colonialism. It's about putting someone in charge who's going to do what we want, who's going to act the way that we want, give us access to oil, to resources, open up the country to Western business and investment, suppress the parts of the population that disagree with that strategy. And that's just never going to work because no one wants to be someone else's bitch. There's always going to be that tension between whatever puppet government is installed and people who want freedom and self-determination. And that just leads to a cycle of violence and chaos that never ends. In fact, the Iranian Revolution in 1979 came about because people weren't happy with the regime that the United States installed in the 1950s. Who the hell thinks that this is going to be any different? Oh wait, it will be different. It's going to be worse. So yeah, you can cheer the death of the Ayatollah because you hate him, but make no mistake, this is horrible for Iran. It will do nothing for the people. The whole exercise is disgusting. And if you want to hear more about it, check out my track, Disgusted. It's all about the reality of U.S. foreign policy. Peace.